Okay, everybody, we're going to take a little moment out and talk a little bit about Steve Jobs' Presentation Secrets. I can't remember if I bought this book or somebody else bought this book. I must have bought this book. I must have bought it and didn't remember that I bought it. Okay, here we go. One more thing. Stay hungry and stay foolish. Stay hungry, stay foolish. That means always be learning, always be watching, always be observing, but always protect yourself. And foolish can be viewed as in many perspectives. It could be foolish as in silly. It could be a little out of control, but you have a break button. However, if you do operate like that, you will fail. You can fail big or you can fail small. Foolish can be taking chances or risks. Steve Jobs kept his audience guessing. Frequently, but not always, he would leave the audience with just one more thing. It's like the nail biter to get you coming back for more. And right now in my head, I'm like, why? There is never an end to life and lessons. You die one day, but if you already knew everything, then your ass is in the grave. That's what these women are showing you. However, what they're also showing you is they are fucking clueless. They have no fucking clue about shit. They're dumb as rocks, and they are so shallow and self-righteous. It is so unbelievable, this thing of conversation they post on their platforms of it's like literally watching a cheerleader from high school. Although this bitch is from Persia and she never went to high school in America. So think about coming to America and then being like way behind in education. Before he ended the presentation, he said one more thing. For example, Jobs announced that he would return as Apple's full-time CEO. As the one more thing at the conclusion of this Macworld presentation on January 5th, it was an element of surprise that audience came to love and expect. Since his audience expected one more thing, Jobs did not always deliver. A surprise would fail to surprise if everyone knows it's coming. So in true Steve Jobs fashion, I would like to add just one more thing to this discussion. On January 12th, shortly after a bout with a rare curable form of cancer, Jobs gave, and pancreatic is what Patrick Swayze also had. Rare. Pancreatic is rare cancer. Pancreatic is insulin. Curable form. Rare, curable form. Jobs gave a commencement address at Stanford. It became an internet sensation, and you still see it today, actually. It's one of the most popular commencement addresses on YouTube, far more popular than remarks of other famous commencement speakers, but we won't name their names. It actually, when you do bring up other people's names, it dilutes the effectiveness of how strong Steve Jobs was in that particular commencement speech. And it diverts the attention over to someone else. So when I say Mona Van, it brings the attention over to her, does it not? And that's part of what I play on her. She thinks I'm giving attention in a way that's going to fuel her business, but her business isn't growing. So you can break that down into knowing that if you don't have anything to deliver, people are, no matter even how brainwashed they are, there is always a little, this is for human beings, because not all people are human beings. That's the hard part, is distinguishing between the two. For example, Kristen Cavallari will never fucking change. She deserves to go to the gas chamber. She will pretend to change. She will not understand how to change. She has no emotion in her chest or her body, and she will do whatever it takes to stay in the spotlight. There's Joe Schmo over there who, an inkling, this is the confusing part, has gone down the path of the wrong way. And then outside sources will tell us that he's evil, but we'll just stick with the fact that he's evil. Because you're on your own damn journey. It's not my fucking problem. Anyway, some people just are not curable. Millennials and Gen Zs are not curable. And there's actually quite a few people that aren't curable. And I always go back to that place because you're not going to cross the boundary. You're a Democrat. How many people know a Democrat that will refuse to change political party, even though they open the effing border to violate American citizens? Even the people who have Mexicans and Venezuelans and Haitians living in their backyards, pooping and peeing and taking their food, they still voted for Democrat. So those people are uncurable. Most of those people have dementia. They're in a demented state of existing. It's like going to take so many years to repair the damages that these fuckers have done. It's unfucking real. It's like going to take a long fucking time. Jobs crafted the speech using many of his same techniques and make the presentation electrifying. About the only thing absent that day were slides. The rest was classic. I've excerpted sections to illustrate how he applied the extraordinary messaging and presentation skills to the now famous speech. And this is not about sales. This is a commencement speech at a college. I also urge you to watch the full speech on the Stanford website. Today I want to tell you the 3 stories from my life, and that's it. We again see the rule of 3 playing a big role in Jobs' message. He drew a map for his listeners by telling them to expect 3 stories, not 1 or 4, but 3. The structure of the speech itself is, and that's actually like the 5-paragraph theme. So Steve Jobs did not invent this. This is something he learned in high school. The 5-paragraph theme is the opening, the closing, and the 3 main points to your speech. They now call it RACE. The first story is about connecting the dots. Here Jobs told the first of 3 personal anecdotes. This one was about his dropping out of Reed College after 6 months, which was a mistake. That's what Jobs said. Jobs said it was scary at first, but ultimately it worked out because it allowed him to continue to take courses that he was interested in, such as calligraphy. And then 10 years later, he incorporated calligraphy fonts into the Macintosh, connecting the dots. And it was beautiful historical artistry, subtle in a way that science can't capture, and it found it fascinating. Why would you agree to not go to college when you have no talent or skill? How stupid are you? See, Steve Jobs had a talent and a skill, and had direction and had structure to some degree. And all you want is to be beautiful. How fucking gross is that? That right there, the beautifulness and the beauty blogger of Mona being mentioned on CSNBC is your fucking sign, you nasty fucks. She meditated on that nasty shit this morning on how she was going to get you to like her. She thought by Gary saying her name that you were going to wake up to her beautifulness and start buying her fucking products. She's Persian. And then he goes on today to sell Persian ornaments while he wore a Persian t-shirt. You're sick, dude. While he's in China, about to take her to Miami and Qatar to praise her on her glorification of eating clean. How stupid can you be?